But let us begin by congratulating you for winning the hearts of Rivers people. And for winning your election resoundingly, and the confirmation by the highest court in the land that you are the elected governor of Rivers State. The rest of the remarks I will make will just be thank you, thank you, thank you, Your Excellency, for standing up to your oath of office to defend the interest of all Rivers people in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You have done that standing on firm ground and with the strength and courage of a lion. We are proud of you. Politics is over. It is now time for governance. And you have hit the ground running. You have touched the critical sectors in less than 1 year in office. You've touched education, you've touched health. But the key of what you are doing so far is the focus on human beings, on the people, especially the poor amongst us. Your Excellency, the human being is the soul of society. Yes. So touching the lives of human beings is more important than everything else. You have started showing signs of that. And may God strengthen you and empower you to do more. Our people say I should tell you to stand firm with the President, align with his positive policies, and carry Rivers people to the engine room of government in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So regard your office as key and vital. Don't look back. It is not a matter of age. It is a matter of your people are with you. And they've asked me to tell you that you are the political leader of Rivers State. Rivers people say, where you go, we will go with you. Where you stand, we will stand with you. You are standing on firm ground. Yes, so stand there. Hold on to God. The rest of the journey will be a piece of cake.
Governor Nyesom Wike used to be friends with Peter Odili and the wife. It was reported that it was Peter Odili's wife, Mary Odili, that helped Wike secure victory in the Supreme Court when she was a judge in the Supreme Court. Since the political impasse between him and his political godson, Nyesom Fubara, the once strong relationship between Wike and the Odilis has gone sour. Wike seems to be losing friends, associates, loyalists to Fubara ever since this issue began. It's been one day, one trouble in Rivers State. In 1973, writer and dermatologist Professor Anazi Okoro published a novel for young adults titled 1 Week, 1 Trouble. It tells a story of Wisin Tabo, a secondary school student who from first day he got a role until he got to secondary school 3rd grade had one trouble or the other in what was clearly a process of becoming and self-discovery. 1 Week, 1 Trouble made it to the Nigerian school curriculum and has further become a ready reference for the reckless manner in which Nigerian politicians are drawn to controversies like fleas to nectar. Accordingly, we have had cause to use this phrase to describe the reign of impunity, ego, and chaos that has now overtaken the oil-rich Niger state of Rivers. If we see Tabo got into trouble on a weekly basis, the situation in Rivers is worse. For the past month, Rivers State has been experiencing trouble on a daily basis, creating a situation that is best described as one day, one trouble in a two-hinder plot featuring Nyesom Wike, former governor of Rivers State, now minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and his successor, the incumbent governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. The conflict and the drama are a classic stuff of godfather-son relationship in Nigerian politics. As it was in the past, so it is now, and so shall it be in the future, except Nigeria demonetize its politics, emphasize the integrity of the people's vote, and insist on transparency and accountability of processes and institutions. More than 24 years after the Nigeria returns to civilian rule, the pervasive opinion is that democracy in Nigeria is putative. What usually happens is that a godfather with too much money or influence acquires true control of state resources which he can deploy at will, as in the case of incumbent governors seeking to cover their backs, install a successor through whom he can continue to rule even after leaving office as constitutionally mandated. Or the godfather may be a man of influence whose political weight is built on a widely acknowledged assumption that he has direct control of the critical institution of the state and that his will override the people's wish. Godfathers in Nigeria politics are genetically dysfunctional, one after the other. We have seen them exhibiting a messianic complex until they are either reminded that they are human or to human, or they succeed in removing their recalcitrant anointed godson. Between the two polarities is a lot of melodrama, the type we are now witnessing in Rivers State, and as we saw before in Enugu State between Jim Wobodo and Chimaroke Nnamani. In Anambra State, Chris Uba vs. Chris Ngige. In Oyo State, Lamidi Adedupu vs. Rashid Adewole Lojoja. In Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje vs. Rabiu Kwankwaso. In Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole vs. Godwin Obaseki. In Delta, James Ibori vs. Ifeanyi Okowa. And in Lagos, Bola Tinubu vs. Akinwumi Ambode. The sociology of godfatherism in Nigerian politics is a complex power game, and it is not restricted to anointed governors. Even lawmakers and local government chairmen owe their emergence in public positions to the dexterity of godfathers. This may involve the anointed godson being asked to enter into a covenant to hand over a percentage of state resources to the godfather and his wife every month. In Lagos, they call it Babake Epe. The exponents of Amala politics in Oyo State fell out with Rashid Lojoja because, having assumed office, the latter did not see why he should continue to hand over 15% of state resources to Adedupu on a monthly basis. Occultism is also involved. Chris Uba took Chris Ngige to the Okija shrine, stripped to his underwears, to pledge that he will always be loyal to the master. When Chris Ngige reneged and began to reassert himself, Chris Uba released photos from the dreaded Okija shrine. Chris Ngige did not deny this, but said he went to the shrine with his Bible, his own talisman. This is the level of decay that rank opportunism in Nigerian politics. People will do anything to be in power without working for it, and that is why there are so many dumb persons in the topmost corridors of power. We do not yet know what path, satanic or godly, that Sim Fubara entered in with his godfather. Was he also taken to the shrine? Did he sell his soul to become governor? What agreement did he reach with Wike? What code of honor did they both agree to, which is now causing trouble? What can be established is that Fubara is a political creation of Nyesom Wike, who made him government house accountant, permanent secretary, government house, and later accountant general of the state. As his 8 years tenure came to a close, Wike decided that Fubara, who has always been in charge of Rivers State accounts, should be rewarded with the biggest diadem, the governorship of the state. During the campaign, not many people knew Fubara, other than that he was the man Wike wanted to make governor. Wike was all over the place campaigning for him, and he put him in office as a PDP successor, despite his own defiant relationship with the party at the national level. When opposition parties challenged Fubara election in the tribunal, Wike again stepped in. He must have trusted Fubara so much. The big mistake he made, though, is that he's a poor student of history and human nature, now projecting himself as a victim of his own contradiction. His critics have also caused to remind him that it is karma at work. Even one Eze, who would never have dared to talk back at Wike in his glorious season as Rivers governor, is now talking. Wike used to tell traditional rulers to shut up publicly and they will literally shut up and say yes sir on top of it. Relationship between godfathers and anointed candidates have not always been rosy. In the affirmation cases, the godson always managed to get the godfathers off their backs. Lodoja fought all the way to the Supreme Court and he was reinstated. Obaseki watered down Oshomole's influence. Ganduje clamped down on the Kwankwasia movement and drove Kwankwaso out of Kano. However, Kwankwaso did manage to come back. The only godfather that seems to have survived will be Bola Tinubu of Lagos. He is probably the most ruthless of all the godfathers. He has been described as a man who knows how to identify and groom talent, and when the same persons try to assert themselves, he crushes them without beating an eyelid. Babatunde Rajiv Fashola, as governor and Tinubu's successor, had ideas of his own, and he was making tremendous impact and taking credit. He had to be reminded that he could not outshine the master. Somehow, he survived. Akuwumi Ambode, a Fulbright scholar, first-class brain, who succeeded Fashola, was not so lucky. He was denied a second term because the godfathers got tired of him. Nigerian godfathers are not looking for scholars and first-class brain. They want slave and yes boys and girls. For example, when Umu Ino, the incumbent governor of Akwa Ibom State, became governor, he, 59, knelt down before Udom Imane, 57, to pledge his allegiance. In Kogi State, after the 11 November off-cycle gubernatorial election in the state won by Ahmed Usman Ododo, Governor Yahaya Bello's anointed candidate, he and his elected deputy took their certificates of return to the governor, knelt and bowed before him in a show of gratitude. Nobody knows what the relationship will be tomorrow in Kogi and Akwa Ibom State between the godfather and the anointed successor. The whole idea of anointment is a mockery of Nigeria's democratic process. Where are the people in all of this? The catalyst for the trouble in Rivers State is perhaps because Fubara showed his hand too early. Within 6 months of assuming office, hair had been let loose, and he had burned the bridge that brought him to power. Is there a lesson there about the character of a godson in Nigerian politics? When they want power, they are easy shade of humility. Ganduje was so humble and loyal, Kwankwaso could never have suspected him. In Fubara case, pro-Wike's actors in the conflict allege that a certain unnamed woman is the one pushing Fubara to fight a godfather and assert himself. Nigerian politics is the strangest theater of the assault, worse than what Martin Eslem, who wrote in the book on the subject, taught us. Whatever that woman brings to Fubara's table must be very strong indeed. However, Fubara supporters argue that there is trouble, not because Fubara, an ordinary obedient person, wants to burn bridges, but because they say, in street parlance, Wike own is too much. He is accused of breathing down too hard on Fubara's neck. It's alleged that all the appointees in Rivers State government are direct appointees of the godfather, with express instruction to spy on Fubara and checkmate him. Wike, it is further alleged, even as former governors still approve project and expenditure. Fubara as governor is not allowed to travel out of the state without Wike's permission. His wife is also not allowed to attend functions. State vehicles bought with taxpayers' money are all controlled by Wike from Abuja. The Wike Fubara, if you Wike me, I will Fubara you. Day your day, nobody worry, nobody saga has polarized Rivers State along ethnic and political lines. Even if the dust settle, the effect will linger. Those who once argued that Fubara was Igbo have now all queued up behind him as a symbol of the Ijaw nation, with the Ijaw Youth Council and the Ijaw National Congress threatening that any attempt to remove Fubara from office will amount to an assault on the Ijaw nation. Professor Benjamin Okoba has boasted publicly that Ijaws are not scared of Wike, and if he tries anything against Fubara, there will be fire. Similarly, the Rivers Council of Leaders and Elders and the leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, Chief E.K. Clark, has issued a statement asking Tinubu to call Wike to order. Honorable Godhead accuses Wike of having everybody in his pocket: the judiciary, the security agencies, INEC, the chief of staff, and the president himself. Wike's pocket must be very big indeed. It's surprised how he still managed to walk around with that much heavyweight under his control. He says, however, that he's only protecting his political structures, and Fubara, who never bought a form to become governor, must stop hobnobbing with his enemies in the state. Fubara says he's the governor and he wants to be respected. And yet, Wike was not always like this. I knew Wike as a Minister of State for Education and later substantive minister in the Goodluck Jonathan administration. The Wike of those days caught the picture of a perfect gentleman. The moment Wike became a governor in Rivers State, the report about him in the public domain, the controversy that he generated, and the hilarious manner in which he rode shore over the state can only be explained of as what too much money and power does to people. He also became powerful beyond rivers. He took over the control of the PDP. The party having lost power at the center in 2015, Wike was the only surviving governor who took it upon himself to finance the party and kept it alive. Other PDP governors couldn't be bothered. In 2022-2023, Wike decided to call in his goosery, only to be resisted by other stakeholders in the party. He promised that having not allowed a Southerner to be the party's presidential flag bearer, by which he meant himself, the PDP would lose the 2023 presidential election. He divided the party, opening up note with the APC, and had his way. He has been rewarded by the president for this with the portfolio of the Minister of FCT. His own party has been very quiet about these brazen anti-party activities. He has dared the party to whip him up line if it can. In the present instance in Rivers State, it is said that he is the main author of the trouble that has led to the reported plans to impeach Governor Fubara, the division of the State House of Assembly into two factions, Fubara group of 5 versus the Wike group of 26, with the former arguing that with the letter defecting to the rival APC, they are automatically no members of the House. Are we going to see an end to this political impasse in Rivers State? Will Wike succumb and leave the structure, PDP structure, to Fubara? Well, I want to hear your thought. Drop your comment in the comment box. Like the video, subscribe, share. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.